Hey guys, what's up? Michael Tate here with another Sunday devotional. This one comes from Colossians, and I found myself making the analogy of, using the analogy of clothing. I like clothes a lot. A lot of musicians like clothing. A lot of people in general like clothing. But for us being on stage or for actors and people like that, clothes kind of say who you are. What you're wearing kind of portrays what you probably like as a person. Not always, but sometimes. And there's reasons why you get rid of old clothing. They don't fit anymore. You outgrow them. Maybe you bought them. You were rushing, you bought them. You didn't think about what you were buying. But you get rid of them because they just don't work. You get new clothes because they fit right. They express what you want to express as a person and your style. Perhaps just because you want to move on to something new, different than the old. And that analogy kind of ties in well with what Paul talked about in Colossians chapter 3, verse 12 and 13 says, "Since God chose you to be the holy people he loves, you must clothe yourselves." He said must clothe yourselves with tender-hearted mercy, kindness, humility, gentleness, and patience. All things we've heard before, all things that are important. But man, when you really study these things, you read the commentary along with them, you realize that these are the emperor's new clothing, if you will. These are things you're supposed to wear if you are a believer. That means we're always gonna fit them well. That means we're always gonna be, it's gonna be the perfect thing for us or our style necessarily, but to conform to this image, so to speak. Putting on mercy and kindness and humility and gentleness and patience. Make allowance for each other's faults. Need I say more? Give somebody a break. Give them some breathing room. Don't be so hard on them. And forgive anyone who offends you. Road rage, a rude comment, a smug comment, forgive them, love them. Remember, the Lord forgave you, so you must, another must there, you must forgive others. Lastly, it says, above all, clothe yourself with love, which binds us all together in perfect harmony. Now, here's what the commentary says. The key to forgiving others is remembering how much God has forgiven you. I always try to remember that. Sometimes it's tough, especially in the heat of battle when you're really mad. But you've been forgiven much, you should forgive much. End of conversation. Then it goes on to say, is it difficult for you to forgive someone who has wronged you a little when God has forgiven you so much? Realizing God's infinite love and forgiveness can help you love and forgive others. Let God worry about the wrongs you've suffered. That's God's job. Don't quench your life in bitter feuding. Live in renewed love and joy. Love and joy. 14 commentary says, all the virtues that Paul encourages us to develop are perfectly bound together by love. As we clothe ourselves in these virtues, the last garment we are to put on is love. To practice any list of virtues without practicing love will lead to distortion, fragmentation, and stagnation. I find it interesting that love is always talked about so much more. All my devotions somehow end up about love or come back around to love and forgiveness. That is the gospel, man. For God so loved the world that he forgave. Plain and simple. And that's how I want to love. I want to put on those kind of clothing, those kind of shoes, that kind of jacket, bracelet, and watch. Things that are going to honor God in a spiritual sense, of course. And by the way, remember this weekend, let's think about our veterans. I have a soft spot for our veterans. My dad was in World War II. My brother was in the Vietnam War. I didn't go to war, thank the Lord. But nonetheless, lots of people who we celebrate this weekend have went on before us, so we could enjoy this freedom that we sometimes complain about. Think about what they sacrificed as you eat dinner on your weekend off. God bless you guys. We'll see you next week.